lose, I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move.
What up? Good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome into Betting the Board. I'm here with your boy, Mickey Mac Daddy, ready to rock and roll. Looking to talk about the college basketball board. Thank you guys for being patient as we work through some technical difficulties here, but we are live and we are dual streaming here on the Sports Money Network and hitting the books, you guys, trying to bring you more college basketball content on a beautiful Saturday morning. It's 5 degrees here in upstate New York. We've got 18 basketball. 5 degrees. 5. One hand is the temperature outside right now. 5 degrees, out of its way to a balmy 8 degrees today, C-Mac. How warm is it out there in Las Vegas?
Oh, it's great. It's one of the warmest Februarys here. I think it's going to be 75. I'll take it. The weather's gorgeous, but usually we have a little bit longer winter. It's just the summers are so crazy. I think about as bad as those summers are, 115 degree heat. That's just too cold. I could take the 20s, the 30. Once you get past like under the 20, I'm out there. I don't know how you're living in good old Rochester.
5 degrees.
Get out of there.
When you go up,
salt your floor, get out of there.
When you go out to the mailbox, your fingers will freeze. They will start to hurt. It's physically difficult to open the mailbox when it's 5 degrees. So
damn.
That's what we have in store. But we're going to heat the board up here today, you guys. How about that little pun to move this thing along here? 12 o'clock. Not a ton of 12 o'clock games today, so appreciate everybody that has been patient. Again, we are live on 2 channels. We are live on the Hitting the Books channel. We are live on the Sports Money Network, so make sure you guys jump on both, log in, hit the thumbs up button, show some support and some love as we go down the hop. Whoops. And we're going to get right into it. We talked last night. C-Mac and I got ourselves on the same page with regards to game alignment. So we might as well kick right off here. And listen, C-Mac, wouldn't be right if we didn't talk about Virginia hosting the Syracuse Orange. Speaking of upstate New York here, a line that opened at 13.5. It's a 12 p.m. matchup here. And it's down in Virginia. The line opened at 147.5. It has moved to 146.5. So it's funny. We talked about this last night. It was sitting at a firm 147.5. 85% of the bets, 84% of the cash came in. And look, you know me, you know us. This is how I want to get my card started here. It is going to be a home Virginia under. C-Mac, surprise, surprise, as we kick this card off here. Who doesn't like an under? Number 18 ranked Virginia coming in here, having won 3 in a row. Syracuse, of course, dunked that last game here. They are 13-10 to this 19-3 Virginia. I guess the question is, Virginia going to be a Final Four team again here? They've certainly find a way to handle their business. They just doused Pittsburgh 67-47. I think we were on that under here, but look at the back, Daddy. I'm going under 147.5. Can I get you into that spot with me here today?
Yeah, I don't mind it. When I was looking at it, shout out to everyone already in here. You talked about hit the like button. I'm sure Mike will give another tweet. We have one out there. Hit the like, hit the repost, all that fun stuff. Tell them we are live. If you're in the chat, do it. I think that's the least we can, right? That's what
I would say so. I mean, after last week, after what we did last week, the least you could do is come out here, show a little love.
Last week was pretty good. Yeah.
We had 8 straight winners before we caught a loss, and we lost by the hook on that 9th game. So that was a great way to start Saturday off.
What was that game?
I can't remember.
He said I don't remember. Yeah, let's get to this. Let's get to this game.
I typically remember the losses, but that one I just I skipped right through. I guess it was because we had 8 straight winners.
Mike's wins were drowning out his lone loss. Yeah, I get it here. You know what I think? We talked about the under. We love Virginia unders. Mike, I knew you'd be all over this under. This hasn't really moved like you talked about. There was 146, basically 147.5 everywhere. I think it coincides. I think Syracuse, their team total under. You know what I mean? If they get to 67, 68, That's where their number is. The full game's probably going over because I think Virginia's in the mid 70s or 80s in this one. And they dominate them. You know, for Syracuse, this is a tough place for them to play. They have not gone in there regularly and won. And this is Syracuse team, I think, is so average, Mike. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Can they do anything really, really well? Offensive rebounding is like, they don't have the shooters. Really, they're horrible from the free throw line. So I get it under. I don't mind it. You know, I didn't bet. All right, I'll be on Syracuse team total under. But nothing for me.
You said it. This season for Syracuse, you know, it feels like even back to the Boeheim area, they were perpetually a bubble team. We would always laugh, my friends and I, because it's like, they'll be on the bubble. They'll get in. They'll be on the bubble and they'll get in. And boy, the last couple of years, it just feels like they have fallen by the wayside of the bubble. That bubble is bouncing them right up and out of there at this point. So
they're out.
Tough year for Syracuse. You know, in all fairness, they've had a recent schedule run here. I mean, NC State, Notre Dame, UNC. I'm not big on Notre Dame, and they handled Notre Dame 86-72, but it's enough. They've got 4 straight overs. We're looking to go to the under to kick the card off here.
Yeah.
Let's keep her moving. Mickey the Mac Daddy and I have a full slate of games for you guys. So get ready. You know, C-Mac, I think I talked about this before. I try not to get overly invested early. Back when I was a younger lad, I would fire off like 12 o'clock. Let me put the whole bankroll out there, and then we'll just keep rolling it over all day long. And now I've tried to be a little bit more patient as, frankly, just doesn't seem to work out for me. It's these 12 o'clock games. I feel like, to me, it's hurry up and wait. And, you know, you get in there, you fire off a bunch of bets. They get you right where they want you. And then you're just sitting around waiting for, you know, the losses to roll in. So I try to skip through that 12 o'clock slate. Not skip through it, but, you know, I certainly don't fire. I've got our list of games that I'm looking at here. I'm scrolling on down. Don't want to miss any of these here, but I believe, let's see with our list, how we roll here.
All right, here's a game, Mike. Before you go,
yep.
I'll hit it while you're looking all that up. You know, I like this Arkansas team. They could, you know, flat score. But this seems like a grinded out game. I was looking at this under 163.5. I know, not everyone, you know, with Arkansas, their games, they've scored plenty, have gone over. But Mississippi State wants to slow this down if they're going to have some success. And even if they don't, can they get past the 60s? You know, Mississippi State. Maybe they just do because Arkansas kind of with their tempo. But I thought that total was high. Early start time in Starkville, Mississippi. Would you want to be there? Start Vegas? No? 12 Eastern?
I mean, I'd rather be there than here right now. I got 4 feet of snow and 5 degrees outside.
That's true. I mean, no, I'd still rather be in Vegas. Fuck that. But I'd look at that under 163.5. I mean, early games. We talk about it. Yeah. Mike always brings it up, his early game. He wants to get in, which I appreciate. You want to get the money, Mike, but I think sometimes you got to pump the brakes. But I think that for anyone who's started out gambling or when they're younger has that a little bit, you know, it'll wear off.
Yeah, there's action out there, so I want to go book it.
Yeah, especially a day like this.
Yeah, sitting around, we're going to be gambling all weekend long here. So, you know, and then I look at this card. I mentioned we've got 18 or so games identified here for you guys, and there's a lot of great action later on in the card. So, yeah, we're a little late to the window here today, but hey, 2 p.m. gets us rolling on Mickey the Mac Daddy's spot here with Florida Gulf Coast and Bellarmine. Is it Bellarmine or Bellarmine here? Bellarmine, I believe. -2.5 have moved to -1.5 on the Florida Gulf Coast side of things here. 154.5. It's about 50-50 as far as the cash is concerned on the total. And you got a 10-14 Gulf Coast team, a 10-13 Bellarmine team. We know when we look at what's been going down in town, boy, Bellarmine put the boot to the ass of Stetson. It was 92-71. Got a big buy high or sell high spot on Bellarmine. Florida Gulf Coast limping in here. They were a 1.5 point dog to East Kentucky, but they ended up taking the loss by a 2. They lost by the hooker, but they were a 2-point dog prior to that against Jacksonville, and they handled business out there, 68-49. CMAC. Florida Gulf Coast, Bellarmine. How are you going to wiggle your way to victory in this one?
Yeah, shout out to my guy, Elmore. I do. Nicholas Handy, as always. Great to see you.
The crew.
Yeah, shout out to my guy, Nick Handy. Here we go, Zach. He's got Vandy. Florida money line, St. Louis -19, Lakers -2, Nuggets money line. Get it? My guy. I'm guessing that's a parlay, but cash that shit.
Cash that shit.
Cash it. Michael. What's with the glasses? You always have glasses? You wearing contacts, or are you just trying to look?
These are a new addition. These are a new addition to my wardrobe.
Did you go to the eye doctor, or are you just faking bacon here?
No, dude, I got to that point where I couldn't read the little lettering on packages, and I was like, for a while, I found out it was bad when I started using my cell phone to zoom in on the back of labels so that I could read them. And I was like, you know what?
Damn.
Let me just go to the fucking eye doctor and see what they have to say about this thing. So I did, and turns out that I just needed readers. So I needed a set of readers so that I can read the font that's right in front of my face. And the problem is, though, it's not like I'm not blind as a bat. I still have 20/20 when it comes to kind of standard sight. But if I'm watching TV, I can't have the glasses on because it distorts the vision. But when I'm reading, it's nice, dude. It's nice. Things are zoomed. It's like a magnifying glass, right attached to my face. It's glorious.
Wow, what a description! What a description! Let's get in this game.
Myself, how long was I fucking struggling to read anything that was that close to? It had to be a year.
Yeah,
had
years.
to be maybe 2. And then I said, you know what? I got eye cover. I got ophthalmologist right down the street. Let me go see what they have to say. And sure enough, dude. So I went. I'll just say this. It's a chain that's around this place. I'm sure as most of these ophthalmologists are, but the marketing girl was coming in there to take pictures of the office. What an absolute smoke show, dude. And she strutted down the sidewalk coming in the door like she was on a fucking runway. It was glorious. The wind was blowing her hair. It was like, it was a real treat to be sitting in the lobby of the ophthalmologist when this girl rolled in. She had red hair. I'm not a red hair person.
Wow. At 5-degree weather?
No, it was probably about 15 degrees. It was about a
little bump up.
DJ Hardy said all of a sudden Mike thought he unlocked HD. Dude, it does look like HD. It's fucking cool. It's great. I tell you, man, I said this before on my show. If you guys are struggling to see things here, if you've got health coverage, as long as it's not a high deductible plan, there's a high probability you have a free annual eye exam in your policy. So utilize that. I know that from my previous life.
Anyhow. Yeah, maybe now everyone's as privileged as you, Mike, with your free, doctor visit, Mr. Healthcare. This guy just shooting off the shit.
As long as you're not in a high deductible plan, you probably have eye coverage baked into the policy.
All right, let's get to this game. I think
let's get
small. These aren't crazy, but Florida Gulf Coast. Both these teams don't play any defense. Bellarmine even worse. Florida Gulf Coast wants to push the pace. I don't really trust them on the road. I know they are 3-8. Florida Gulf Coast on the road. I don't think this team should be laying even 2.5, Mike, or 1.5, depending. You know what I mean? So I think Bellarmine, it's not easy team to take. I think them plus 2.5, but I think the over. I think this is light enough. I think this is a little bit in the wheelhouse. Florida Gulf Coast, their numbers have been more around this and they haven't got over, but I just think Bellarmine just doesn't play the defense here where they give up easy baskets. So I want to go more 155, but 153.5. I think this gets over. I had this one circuit. Bellarmine too, one of the better over teams that we talked about, especially at home. I think there's going to be plenty of points, and I think they're live in this game.
There we go.
You got anything?
You guys an under, you guys an over as they rock and roll out there. Bellarmine, boy, 117-114 North Florida. Talk about not playing any defense. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
It's like they scored more points than a WNBA game.
Man, WNBA games are a tough watch. I know you dabble in that WNBA, right?
Sure I do. I do, man. I had a nice little run going last year. I think we ended up.
Really?
I know we turned a nice profit in the WNBA last year, so it's not going to be too long away from baseball, WNBA, and soccer monopolizing, our gambling window. So we got to enjoy it while we can. Take the good with the bad. Speaking of good with the bad here, 2 p.m. We'll keep it going. We got a couple games in this 2 p.m. slot that jumped off the page for us here. Omaha. By the way, Peyton Manning commercial. If you haven't seen it for the Super Bowl, he's hosting a party. It's a retro. It's like a look back. He's supposed to be hosting a Super Bowl party, and it's the Super Bowl party where the Patriots are losing 28-3 to the Falcons, and it's fucking hilarious, dude. He's like, this game's over. He's like, I'm gonna go put a movie on, and everyone starts booing him, and it's great. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It'll be out there tomorrow. You'll see it, I'm sure, but probably can Google it already. Anyhow, Omaha comes in here against North Dakota State. They're big dogs, 9.5-point dogs. And look, this is probably one of the least bet games on the board. I don't even have split information on this thing. I see 742 tickets. I see the totals catching a little heat on the over, 64% of the bets and 63% of the cash. The line's not moving. We've got Omaha rolls in here at 12-13. The Bison are 19-6 as they come into this game, as they look to handle business here. North Dakota comes in off a 78-71 loss to Denver. One of the, I don't know if that's where the bubble burst on the Denver overs, right? That was a revenge opportunity for Denver, though. Denver did lose 82-77 just a week beforehand. So you've got Omaha rolling in here, C-Mac. What do you think about this game, North Dakota and Omaha?
Yeah, I think North Dakota State, you could look at their team total. I think the shots will drop a lot more, than the other day we talked about. I don't know so much they were big dogs. Denver didn't shoot the ball well, at least from three. Good from the free throw line and inside, 51%. But North Dakota State, bad shooting day they had. They'll shoot it definitely better from three. They only shot 30%. And Nebraska Omaha, they're a team defensively. I don't think you can trust the numbers. Like on their pace is a little bit down, which I run through. Nothing crazy. I think they're still right in the 170s area. I have to double check that going through it. I always talk about this conference too while I look to and over. Usually midweek, like a Thursday, like the late games, the night games, I think are a little bit better. There's just tons of fouling, tons of late call, free throws. It could get real messy down the stretch of these second halves of these games. So I thought this total was just flat light. So I like North Dakota State, their team total. I think this over can get there 144.
Points and more points from Miggity Mac Daddy. I'll take you guys down the thruway from me here. Niagara, the MAC, the MAAC, going to take on Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac comes into this game here, minus 13.5. Huge favorite. Home dog or home favorite. Tons of cash coming in on these guys as well. 67% of the bet, 74% of the cash. I'll say this, another 700 ticket sample. And if you guys are looking for the 15,000, 20, if you're looking for the UConn St. John's type of action out there, we like to kind of
St. John's.
We like to sniff around the edges.
How about St. John's? Mike?
Gets it done.
How about your
big
time,
win?
huh?
The under didn't catch. I had the under in St. John's. But hey, it was a money line play too, so it was good business. Anyhow, this one's got 700 tickets involved in the mix here. It's 13.5. It has moved to 14, so a little bit of movement there, but the totals where I want to focus here, and this is what I like. 80% of the bets, 79% of the cash are on the over, and it's sitting at 137.5. It has not moved, so we're looking at this game here, and look, my big play, Max, MAAC, the other MAC. These games go under, especially when you get the higher scoring teams. They can't quite index these games properly, and so you look at a team like Niagara, and look, three of their last 5 games have gone under. They're on back-to-back unders, but the total that they've been pegged with tends to be 128.5, 129.5. And so they're giving us a 138.5 in some spots out there. I think this is way too many points. And the problem is you get a team like Quinnipiac Yeah, they like to score 75-60, 72-65, 98-91 to Sacred Heart. But I think Niagara can hold it down here on the road. They are the lower scoring, ball centric organization here. Big dog probably gets run right out the gym here, and I'd be surprised if they get to 65 points. C-Mac. I'm going to go with the under here. It's 137.5 for the Niagara game. Under 137.5. Can I sell you?
Yeah, I looked at.
Beans?
Yeah, I mean this game could go under. I just try to stay from off these road teams in this conference. Traditionally, I want them at home. As you know, Mike, these are a lot different teams at home. They just are, especially when we get here in conference play. But I have to say, I talk about it a lot. With any team that's double digits, I can't lay points to them unless you really, really like it. I mean, because they just don't play enough defense. How can you lay 15 with this team? Quinnipiac, come on. I mean, the numbers just aren't there. It's just Niagara, offensively hasn't been great either when you look at all their shot selection and metrics and everything else. They're not very good inside. And they're not very good outside either. I guess decent from 33%. So I take the points here if I were to bet this game. I'm gonna stay off the total. I think it's right where it's supposed to be.
I'll tell you, a first cut for me was the first half. The first half plus 7.5 for Niagara. I mean, that's win by double digits in the first half. That's a tall ask for any team. Doesn't matter if you're Duke and UNC, if you're Notre Dame. It doesn't matter who you are. That 10 points is a big run, but I've just seen some duds from Niagara where they've just started off so slow. And it seems like if they're going to do that, it's going to be on the road. So I veered away from the Niagara side. I just chose to take a lower scoring MAC battle out there where we see these things fall to the under. MAC. 13-3, by the way, are those unders in this situation. MAC teams, when you've got one of the teams that scores more than the league average, 13-3 is what you find to the unders when they're playing in the conference. So MAC conference games like to go under. Keep her moving. So I was talking about the bubble bursting, C-Mac here, and I was regarding Denver because they have been a straight over team for me, but they found that little, you mentioned it, just the previous game there. They weren't hitting their threes. Things weren't falling for them the way they should. Do you think that this team's going to start to find themselves an under machine here? I mean, they are 3-2 to the under in their last 5 games, but they have been such an auto over team to start the year. You think North Dakota can keep pace? Can I get you on an over in this North Dakota Denver game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a little bit. Everything comes back to the means a little bit. They just weren't pricing it. They just weren't going high enough with their totals, so they started to really have to kick it up. But I think they're still, like, when you look at it, an over team, even though we're going to see a few more unders. I mean, it just was crazy. And depending on a few of these games, depending on where you got the line, it went over. I think on 2 of these losses, you know what I mean? Depending if you got a 158 or 163, as they move so much up and they move so much down. It's been crazy when they're going 5-point swings for these totals with Denver games. So, I mean, if you've been riding it, I guess you take it. I know, like you talked about, there was just a loss. One thing is, maybe the team just played bad. I mean, still scored 79 points, right? I was talking about usually they just give up 89, especially a team, like who they just played in North Dakota State. So, I don't know if it's just, I think the line's starting to get there. The book's finally getting up. So that's it for Denver. Get it.
2 p.m. Information to pass along to you guys here. The sharp respected betting action did come in today. The number one spot that was hit here. They tipped the scales, and it's in that Baylor and Iowa State game. And the SRB came in here. They're taking Baylor with the points. They like the points. Give them the 14.5. It's not a game that I've got any involvement with here, but 42% of the bets, and there's 53% of the cash. So there is a bigger tilt, a bigger jilt on the Baylor plus 14.5 side of things here. 151.5. You think Iowa State goes out there and mops the floor with Baylor, C-Mac?
Yeah, I want nothing to do with this game. Just flat out. Baylor finally get. I mean, it was a win they should get against a Colorado team, a bad team that's on the road that just doesn't play defense. And Baylor finally scoring some points, which at times in games has been a real struggle for them. I remember that TCU game where they scored, I don't know, it was like a 97-90 type game for the most part. This team can barely get out past the 50s into the 60s. You know, they just don't have the guard play and the shooters, and it's really struggled against better teams. So this is always a good, rivalry type game. I can't do it here. You're going to take Baylor? Is that what you're trying to get at here?
The Sharp Perspective betting information came in, and they did fire on Baylor. It's a lot of points, but the thing is, I would like if it was Baylor at home and I was getting 14.5, I'd feel a lot better than going into Iowa State. I mean, this team is just ripping teams up. You mentioned that Baylor can't score, or that they're having a difficult time getting past like that 60 mark here, but Iowa State's kicking the shit out of everybody. Iowa State kind of had a little hiccup against Cincinnati, but that was on the road. And since then, they've gone 4 straight games. They're putting up mid 80s and 90s, almost 100 points here. Colorado, they smoked Colorado by 30 pack. I think Iowa State's dangerous at home, but Sharp Perspective bettors coming in, smacking on this thing here. I'm passing the information along. It's not an official play for me, but if I was going to get involved in that game, I guess I'd want the points, not the. I wouldn't want to lay it. 14.5.
Yeah, it's just starting to get you're paying a little bit of a premium tax. You talk about all the shooters that they have and how good this Iowa State team is. We'll see how dangerous they can be next month, in March. Because I think a little bit of difference in this team from past teams is the shooters that they have, and how good they are and can get easy buckets and shoot the three well. So that's a dangerous team, if you ask me, I think, come next month.
I'll tell you what's dangerous is when you put Bill and his girl Mary together. They are a formidable opponent, and they've got Hampton rolling into town here, and they're going on the road. They're laying a 5-pack on the road. In fact, the line opened up at -4.5 for Bill and his bitch. It moved to 5. It's moved to 5.5. 72% of the bets, 85% of the cash, like Bill and his girl. The totals moved down from 152.5 to 150.5 with 53% of the bets and 56% of the cash here. 15-8 out of the Tribe. I'm a Tribe guy. I for 3 seasons now, I've been following these guys along here, just trying to make some cash with these guys. And look, they're 3-2 against the spread in their last 5 games, so they're not exactly a cash cow. But in rolls Hampton, and Hampton just had a big win against the Elon Musks. 87-79.
Yeah.
They needed that one, though. They had 3 straight losses, back-to-back road losses before they finally got home and got it right, C-Mac. Bill and his bitch. How you getting paid in this game?
Yeah, Bill and his bitch. Yeah, I think overall this team, it shows with the price, playing the points are a little bit better. But this team, you want to back them on the road here?
No.
Right? I don't think they can be backed at all. Yeah, I don't love this Hampton team, and this might be kind of an ugly dog hold your nose, but I think Hampton is flat in it. We always look at they're off a big win. How do you take that? Do you take that off the bad loss? They're going to play better and shoot it better off a big win. Does that continue? What do you think about that? Like, ripping off a few wins that are impressive, then compared to maybe a few losses, looking horrible. What do you think about that?
Especially in a program like this where the kids go out there and shoot lights out, are they going to continue to do that? It's not in them. That's not who they are, right? So I'm inclined to discount a team, but then you see a 5 and it's like, all right, I mean, this is the books are telling you Bill and Mary are going to go out there and smoke this Hampton team, and I just think it's an afternoon game. It's just too. I don't want to get involved in the 5-point business with William and Mary. On the road at a 2 p.m. sleepy little afternoon window. They should
Hampton,
go out there.
8-1 at home. 8-1 at home. Unless William and Mary shuts them down, which they could, with their numbers. I think, Hampton, this team's got a pretty decent defense, as bad as they are shooting the ball. You know what I mean, right? And which leads me to this game too. would be an under.
What's up with Hampton's fucking schedule? How many games they got? No home barn. I mean, they got 8 games played at home. They got 14 games on the road. That just seems like an aggressive road schedule. Early.
Oh, these teams have it. Yeah, it was like Hampton had it. Sacramento State. These certain teams, like they just didn't play at home. Really, they played like two games. That's it until now, and then now they're having a bunch of home games and even more in conference. So this is a little bit. I don't do too much of it, but I think this is the double up a little bit here, Mike. A piece of this under and have Hampton plus 5.5 because they have to keep this game a little bit lower scoring. I think they lean on their defense. I think their defense might be better than William and Mary at times at home. Maybe I should put it that regard when you see the splits of them on the road and at home. So I think they're live, Hampton and under.
Appreciate everybody rocking with us here in the chat. You guys, we are live on 2 channels. We are live on the Sports Money Network, and we are live on the Hitting the Books channel as well. So if you guys could do us a favor, just log into each of those channels and smash the thumbs up button. Only takes you a second. It helps us out a ton, and we appreciate you doing that. You don't have to watch on both. Just log into both and make sure you smash the thumbs up button. I'll get the link out there for both of them for you guys.
Hype it up too. Chat. Give a little hype button. I see there now. Give a little hype button on YouTube. Give us a little hype with the video as well when it ends. You seen that, Mike? You hyping videos? You a hype man?
I saw that. I should be better at it. I'm not. I saw it. I'm aware that
he said I'm not.
And frankly, I just didn't read it. I didn't read anything about it. So I saw how it works. I saw that it's an important thing that can help you get better ranking on the videos themselves too. But no,
I need water. Hold on.
I have hit the thumbs up button on the Hitting the Books channel, and I have hit the thumbs up on the Sports Money Network. So appreciate everybody rocking with us here. Listen, there's a couple games that I checked out that didn't quite make the card for me. One of those spots that I'll share with you guys here, Princeton and UPenn. Princeton's 13-1 against UPenn. Let me give you the exact number. Hang on. Princeton and UPenn. 13-4-1. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games against them. And look, Penn just beat up Princeton. Now this game was 14.5. It's moved to plus 3.5 on the Princeton side of things here. So I'm not sure if you can get involved in this one or not, but I know that, Penn comes in here. They had a big win against Cornell. No defense. It was 91-81, back-to-back road games. They had 4 of their last 5 games at home. If there was a spot for Princeton to come out there and sneak these guys, I would say it's probably right here, but I'm not sure why this line moved. 17, 18 points is the fashion that it moved. So buyer beware, but let's see. Keep her moving down the card here. So we've got 2:30. That was William and Mary in Hampton. I'll tell you a spot that I was looking at as well, but I couldn't quite get there is the Sam Houston spot. Sam Houston La Tech minus 4.5 has moved to 3.5. And the total, it's kind of oscillating around 141.5. There's some 142.5s, but there's still juice to the under. So why it caught my attention was the Bearcats, La Tech Bulldogs here, 12-10 La Tech Bulldogs, but Bearcats were just laying a 10.5 pack against UTEP. It was a home game. They didn't cover. They found a way to blow it and on a monster cover run on top of that. So where I was looking at this game, I am going to move on Sam Houston. I'm going to add this to the card because, yeah, it's a revenge spot. They just played La Tech. It was 83-67 on January 31st. But I think that you've got back-to-back losses. New Mexico State, Sam Houston is the other loss in there for La Tech as of recent here. And I just think that, this line, after coming off of a non-cover for Sam Houston when they were so damn red hot, wants me back in the Sam Houston business. So I'm going to lay the 3.5 here. I know it's a revenge spot, but I think minus 3.5, minus 108 is a fair number for Sam Houston, who I think is just the better basketball team. What do you think about that one? Get some Sam Houston in your life?
Get it. Sam Houston. Yeah, I like it. No problem with that game. I lean under.
They already beat up La Tech,
well.
and they came off that non-cover. So I think this isn't a. While I do like the revenge narrative, I just don't see this as a revenge spot for them boys. So it's funny how that works. Some teams I'm involved, I say, okay, it's a revenge spot. Some teams I'd say, they've already gotten the boot put to the ass once. Why can't it happen again? So let's keep it moving. Let's keep going down the rip here. We've covered some 2:00 games. We've got some 2:30 games. I'm continuing to roll down the board, betting the board here. Sports Money Network. Hitting the Books channel. We are live for you guys on Saturday, trying to get to this next game. Let's see what we have here. As I scroll, we've got LaSalle and St. Louis. I like the unders in those St. Louis games, but they have been a tricky little vixen as of late, C-Mac. What do you think about the A10? Who's your favorite team in the A10?
I don't know. I'd say it's St. Louis, but yeah, this one's tough. I mean, the under too. I don't mind it. What was more impressive to me with St. Louis early on was a little bit their defense. That it's starting to at times not show, of course, in conference play, but LaSalle get 66 here. I mean, I like not only the under. I think this line's moved, by the way. This moved 5 points, basically 4 or 5 points to the over. I just huge number here. Lane 23.5. So get it. J Main, he's got Denver. He likes Drexel, UPenn. He's on Sam Houston. Shout out to my dude.
Sammy Hugh.
Presidential, I got Ricky Bobby. Great to see you, as always. Ricky Bobby, baby. First to last.
Squad is up and rolling with us on a Saturday. Hey, 4 p.m. Speaking of a big number, C-Mac, Alabama and Auburn. Here we go. Plus 1.5 have moved to 3.5 out there on the Bama side of things here. 64% of the bets, 54% of the cash. Then you look at the total, and it's moved up 2 full points from 174.5. Already a lofty number. We know Bama likes to run with pace. They're now 176.5 with 88% of the bets and 88% of the cash here. The Crimson Tide roll in at 15-7. The thing about these Bama games, though, they're not covering the spread. They're flip-floppy. They're win one, lose one, win one, lose one. They just beat Texas A&M, so that would suggest this is the lose one situation here, but not out of the norm to see 80, 90, even 100 points touch the scoreboard here. Do you think the over's a little inflated, or do you think there's some action here on the side of this game?
Yeah, I think you look at Auburn. I mean, do you trust them? I trust them a little bit more, I guess, just being a home game, but this is always just a good rivalry. It reminds me, we have one later, Tennessee, Kentucky, and not always the home team wins in these matchups. Bama's gone there the last few years and won. You talked about they're just not covering numbers, of course, and there should be points. I mean, that's why we have this total. I mean, it could still get over this number, maybe. When I start getting this high, there's only a few teams you can have this total like this, designated for. And that's Alabama. Both, we know these offenses are really good. They want to get up and down. The pace is going to be is crazy. But I think it's Auburn. I agree with the move a little bit to them. I wouldn't lay more than 3 points. If you got an early 1.5 or the money line, I think it's a little bit better just to be safe with this team. What do you think?
I don't know. I like Bama. I like the pace. I like a high scoring game. But I've been burned by them just too many times to want to get involved in. And I would lean to the over. I mean, it's a big number. It's a big number, and we've seen that they really don't play shit for defense. So I'll tell you what, 4 p.m. Go on down the line here. Go on down the line to a big, prestigious program in Hofstra. Towson going into Hofstra here. Minus 3.5 have moved to 4. And you have 61% of the bets, 47% of the cash on the Hofstra side of things here. So a little bit some bigger money coming in on Towson. The total has moved from 138.5 to 137.5. And I was looking at this game here. I see the Hofstra Pride. I feel like, and this is just because I follow this team geographically because it's a New Yorker spot there. Also knew a girl from Hofstra, Gina from Hofstra. Shout out to Gina from Hofstra. But as I was looking at this game here, I feel like Hofstra kind of figured it out against that You know, 2 games ago they played Monmouth, right? Monmouth came into that thing, I don't want to say hot, but they were playing well. And 73-57, like they just knocked Monmouth in the mouth, and it was on the road on top of that. So they go out there, they win 73-57. It was the defense. I feel like that's Hofstra's kind of groove, is they've got to go out there and challenge you, force some turnovers and some ugly shots out there. And 73-57, they go out there, they take down that Monmouth team. They come back home, they take down Northeastern, a bunch of fucking book nerds, 80-63. And, you know, if you're Towson, yeah, you just beat Hampton, but we just kind of talked a little bit about Hampton and Bill and his bitch. Now, that's how bad Hampton is Towson was laying 8.5 and they smoked them by 32. But I feel like this is a little Hofstra situation where Hofstra's going to go on a little tear here and start to make some strides. And I think 4 points at home, that's a fair number. I mean, this team Hofstra, they're 4-3 against the spread at home, but it's kind of a coin flippy situation. And I just feel like, to me, it's the momentum that Hofstra gained against that Monmouth team. I was on Monmouth, full disclosure. I thought Monmouth was running hot. Coming into that spot there, they had, seemed to play pretty decent, and they got busted up. So I'm going to take some Hofstra. I'm going to lay the 4 points with Hofstra at home. Shout out to Gina from Hofstra.
Gina, where you at? Shout out. Tony the Tiger, honor my dude. He likes Nova here. Wagner, Central Connecticut over 136.5 for JMA. Okay. Yeah, well, I think this is who dictates the pace here. Towson wants to slow this way down. Like, win their game with their defense. I think they have the better defense. Now, Hofstra's at home, not that they're a slouch, but I think they're the better shooting team, of course. And they'd be good ATS. I think this is a spot for Hofstra. I don't know if I want to be laying a lot of points with them. I wouldn't, you know what I mean? That I wouldn't lay more than a bucket. But I think Hofstra is the side. I don't mind that at all, especially after the big win. Which Towson team have we been getting? This team's been kind of disappointing on the road. They did beat your buddy Elon Musk, so they do have a road win there, Northeastern, and then they've just had some games where they just can't get right, especially shooting it on the road. So I don't mind it. I'm definitely off it though. Good luck. Get paid.
Good luck. I'll tell you, there's been an over squad is Robert Morris, and they've got the Penguins here. They're going on the road to the Penguins. 144.5. It's got 58% of the bets and 64% of the cash. It didn't make my card, but I had the over highlighted for this game, and I just couldn't quite pull the trigger here. Robert Morris, I like their team total overs, but look at 3-2 to the under in their last 5, 3-1 to the under in their last 4 here. Robert Morris over bubble might have burst as well here, but Youngstown State comes into this thing 3-1 in their last 4. I think I got to stay away from the Horizon Division, Steve Mac. I think I got a problem.
Yeah,
I think the problem I have is the Horizon Division. Any thoughts on that game?
Yeah, not one of my favorite, but it goes from year to year sometimes, and from maybe just a couple teams, in a conference. So, yeah, it can be just up and down, just crazy sometimes. You know what I mean? This conference like you're talking about. So, yeah, defensively, I think this game could get over. You're talking about both these two teams have been decent to the over. Youngstown playing, a kind of a different pace, up and down. You know what I mean? Is this number too light here in the total?
I think we see some points.
I think so too. I don't really love these defenses. Robert Morris on the road too. Decent shooting teams. Yeah. I think this one, when you looked at it last night, was a couple points light. So I kind of like this over. I need to look at it a little bit more. I think it can get there.
I'm going to make the short card as a later follow-up for me as well here. We'll see how things roll. Keeping her moving, you guys. Appreciate everybody that's joined us here. We started a little late. We had some technical difficulties, so we're going to give you guys a little bonus coverage here.
We're locked in, though. We're locked in now. Right?
Locked and loaded.
Don't bring up the past, will you, Mike? Goddamn. This guy, he's dragging it down. All right. Head to the next game.
Rolling,
Let's go.
baby. Let's go. Let's keep her moving. I'm going to go on to 6 p.m. because Lamar is going on the road. And in my estimation, Lamar is going to get run off the tracks here. Stephen fucking Austin. SFA minus 8.5. That is the number as it stands right now. I like Stephen fucking Austin. 20-3. What's not to like about these Lumberjacks? I've been on the Lamar side of things here. I've had some Lamar business. Lamar's covered 3 in a row. So to me, the challenge for Lamar in this one is step up in class. You're playing probably the best team in the conference. And so Southeast Louisiana, you handle them 73-54. McNeese, I mean, you're 10.5 point dog. They only lost by 1 in that spot here. I think Lamar's better days are behind them. I know that they just played Stephen fucking Austin, January 24th. They got busted up 88-81 on their home court. Now, that was a 4.5. So they lost by 7 on their home court as a 4.5. Now you're bringing them on the road, and Stephen F. Austin beating everybody up, beating them up by class here, 4-1 in their last 5. Again, I think probably the best team in the conference here with Stephen F. Austin. I looked at this game and I saw, well, you know what? Listen, Stephen F. Austin against conference opponents, 10-2. I think the class of the conference, as I mentioned here, I think they go out there and get the job done. They've already shown that they can do it. I don't think revenge is in store for Lamar. And look, if you're going to play a Stephen F. Austin team, seems like the best way to do it's at home. They're 9-1 against the spread at home. They play a defensive, control the ball type of format. They frustrate teams. They get them off their spots. They get them shot clock violations here. 3-7 to the under when they're at home. They're a defensive laden team that could just go out there and frustrate you and wear you down. And I think Lamar going to step up to the task here and get busted up by 8.5 points is a fair number to lay here. 10. I see him winning by double digits. You like Stephen F. Austin?
Yeah, I think this is I just don't really want to lay 8.5 points with them. I want to be betting on both these teams, which I have been. A little bit. Stephen F. Austin at home. I took in Lamar the last couple. We had him Saturday. They just had an easy win against Southeast Louisiana as well at home.
Southeast Louisiana's terrible.
Yeah, they're not very good.
Awful.
They're only sometimes backable at home. In a rare case. They are bad. They're awful.
At home and getting 14 points. That's the formula for Southeast Louisiana.
That's right in my wheelhouse. That's right in my wheelhouse when I want to. Definitely. You know what? This game, I think we have enough wiggle room under. Like Lamar's just slow. This team, I watched them a ton. They can really just kind of sit down, hold the ball for a while, drain the shot clock. And when they're not scoring, it could be tough. But their defense has kind of kept them, other than playing like Nichols, some of these teams that they play just get up and down. You know what I mean? The pace is kind of wild. Or New Orleans. When they play these kind of better teams, I always look to an under with them. So I like the under. Stephen F. Austin, I've been on a few of these at home. Took care of McNeese. I was on, I think, I might have been on him against Southeast Louisiana too, the game before that. I can't remember. So Stephen F. Austin from horrible, not back them last year, like to back him, playing really good basketball. I think I was bagging on Stephen F. Yeah, I think I was bragging on them a ton last year, Stephen F. Austin. Well, they suck. Can't get the job done. You can't cover. Now they're a covering machine. Man's best friend. A team that covers.
As we talk about it, I'm kind of thinking Lamar's team total under might be a little spot to sneak in there as well. 65.5 is that team total for Lamar. That seems to be around that sweet spot that you can kind of tag in on that under and maybe get paid there too. So that's a 6 p.m. We got some time to work with here for the rest of this card. Santa Clara, Washington State. I'll tell you, here's another 8.5. Excuse me. Another 8.5. Santa Clara rolls in here on the road. Here's the thing about Santa Clara. They're a hell of a road team. They play conference road. I mean, shit, they bust everybody up. They cover, they win. They did it again the other day. That was literally the cap for me the other day was when Santa Clara goes on the road, look out. And they were on the Loyola Marymount, 104.73. Pacific, 71.56. There's that San Diego, that pesky San Diego team, 85.73. They're 4-1 in their last 5. They're road terrors. And 8.5 might scare some people away, but that's kind of the average number. They laid 13.5 at San Diego. They laid 8.5 at Loyola Marymount. They laid 6.5 at Pacific. I'm good with it. I like this spot. I'm going to take the points, or I'm going to lay the points here. Santa Clara on the road versus conference opponents. 91-46. So it's not just this year, but going back 19 years, they thump teams on the road. They're just built to travel. And I'm good with Santa Clara here. I'll lay the 8.5. These guys, I think they're coming in at the right time. Get their groove. Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Get it. Yeah, they're playing really good basketball. So, get it.
Hell of a road team out there for Santa Clara.
Hell of a road team.
Hell of a roadie out there for these boys here. Let's keep her moving, you guys. We're getting through the card. We've got ourselves kind of the second half of the day. I mean, we got to talk about it for a second here. It's probably my least favorite game, but I know majority of America feels opposite here. The most bet game of the day, Duke and UNC. C-Mac. Be remiss not to talk about it. It's 6:30 p.m. Duke opens as a -5.5. It's waffled around 5. 151.5 has 82% of the bets, 82% of the cash on the over in this game. I've got to play 21-1 Duke, 18-4 UNC. Tobacco Road, the battle of Tobacco Road, if I'm not mistaken here. 2 storied franchises coming into this thing here. 9-5 UNC at home, 6-1 Duke on the road. I'll tell you what, I looked at the under. I look at the under in this game. And pretty simply put, UNC 7-0 to the under when they're in the dog roll after back-to-back games that had lower totals. So they're averaging 127.5. So they overinflate this line. And UNC's 10-0 to the under in a revenge situation versus a team that allowed fewer than 32 rebounds and on a 3 or more game winning streak out there. And the margin, it's 12.5 points of margin in both of these scenarios here. I think this game can comfortably stay under the number here. And we've seen some Duke unders. It's not like it's out of the realm of, Duke to keep the defensive ball, take the air out of the ball a little bit when they get on top of this thing here. And, looking at their recent performances here, I think Duke back to back. I mean, 3 of their last four of their last 5 games have gone under the total. Can I twist your arm and get you to buy into the under 151.5 with me on this Duke game?
Yeah, I looked at it. What gives here? Does the Duke, of course, defense travels? Can they bring that on the road? But North Carolina, I don't know if they want to get into that slow type game here with Duke. They want to get up and down. So contrasting styles here. Under Duke, over North Carolina. Well, this is a rivalry game. So, I think anything could really happen. North Carolina, I think for them, Wilson has to have a big game. I mean, at home, come on. Doesn't get bigger than this. Duke, North Carolina. Trimble, some of these other guys, Dixon, they can't have an off game here, especially against Duke. So I think this is a live type bet. I kind of like North Carolina. I love it. Duke, everyone, this is a layup, right? Just take Duke. Hey, layup spot. Duke rolls in and covers. What do you think? Who have they beat on the road other than Louisville?
Well, that's the problem. Is do you want to lay the 5.5? I mean, that's a lofty number for a Duke team to be laying on the road here. It might come down a little bit more, but this to me is a situation where Duke covers or UNC ends up winning outright with a shocker here, but I just can't see it. Who's UNC played and beaten out there that gets you so jacked up?
Yeah, nobody. Shit. Both these teams. I mean, they're playing the same teams, you know? So
Cameron Boozer and Caleb Wilson. That is the matchup as we see it here today. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it should be good. I think North Carolina is live here today.
I'm officially on the under. I've got the 151.5 for you guys. Appreciate you all tuning in. I see Paul is here. She says, awesome show. Loving all the info. The best. She's talking about me. The best.
Best there is, best there was. Let's get it, Mike.
St. Mary's and Iona. Let's talk about this one really quick here, C-Mac, because you and I were talking a couple Thursdays ago on the pre-gaming show, St. Mary's and Iona. We were talking about the fountain of unders that Iona was spraying all over the place out there. This line's at 4.5. Hasn't moved. Totals not really moving either. 79% of the bets, 80% of the cash here. Iona gals come into this thing here.
Gales.
And Gales. Back-to-back losses are what them Gales are doing out there. St. Mary's comes in here. Kind of that, again, win one, lose one. Inconsistent. Now, with all fairness to St. Mary's, they just played Merrimack and got run off the tracks. It was a home game, so they've had back-to-back homers before shooting on the road. In fact, they've had a pretty generous home schedule for St. Mary's, so I don't know if they can come out there and be competitive or not, but Iona's been an under machine until they played that last game. 140.5. It gets 151 as the final number out there. And, Siena Saints pushed the pace and gave Iona a little ruffling of the feathers on the road. But Iona comes back home. You think this can get under? Think they can get back to their underways on their home court against St. Mary's?
I do. I go in that game too, especially the first half. There was more. We saw the regular Iona in the second half, of that game where they only scored 25 points. But that first half, they were just hot. Hot from three. What's his name? Harris, I think he went 6 or 9 from three. They shot 45%, 14 to 31 from three. He didn't get to the free throw. That ain't happened again. That's why I like these teams in this conference. We talk about unders. They don't get to the line, right? And they're not very good when you go through these teams. It's tough to find a team shooting over 75% for the Cherry Stripe in this conference. So Mount St. Mary's, we kind of know who they are. On the road, they want to play defense, keep this game in the 60s. So under, they're right back on this under 140, 139.5. Do we have a 140 here?
I thought I saw 140
out here. Is there? I know there's 140s. Okay. Yeah. Okay, maybe see if I can get one of my books. Yeah, like definitely 140 here. I got that.
I think splitting hairs over the point. It shouldn't matter. Should be an under. Should be a nice little defensive battle for Iona to get back on their home court. Some big games at 8 p.m. Some big battles here. ACC battles. We've got Clemson and Cal. I had a nice little under the other day in Clemson. I'm going to run right back to that spot there. But Illinois and Michigan State is the battle that we need to talk a little bit about here. Michigan State -1.5. 68% of the bets, 75% of the cash on the Illinois side of things here. The Fighting Illini. Total started at 144.5. It's come down to some 143.5s, and we had 79% of the bets and 83% of the cash. 20-3 are the Fighting Illini. 19-4. Man, Michigan State. They're always one of them teams that kind of fights and competes out there. They had a tough go of it against Michigan. That was a tough battle at home. It didn't get any easier going on the road. In fact, I almost wonder if they just got a little mental fatigue because they play that Michigan game. They lose by 12 points. They're 2.5-point dogs. They go into Minnesota. They're 8.5-point favorites. They lose by 3 outright in a game that, they really, I guess first half they were in it, I guess technically here, but Illinois is just beaten. Northwestern, 84-44. Nebraska, 78-69. Illinois, the class of the Big Ten, Can they do it again? Can they handle this business against Michigan State?
If they shoot the ball, no, I don't think they. No, I don't think so. Not today. But if they keep shooting the three the way they do, yeah. I mean, Steve's good. Wagler, Stojakovic, they got shooters everywhere, inside out, create their own shot. I still don't trust them defensively. Really, Mike, do you with Illinois?
No.
I mean, they keep winning here. The biggest thing I was talking about this other, I got to see it. Can we see it in March? And this team, get to the Final Four, maybe even. They have the talent. I think this is a little bit Michigan State struggling, couple tough losses. Of course, they just lose in Minnesota as 8.5-point favorites. Give me a first half here, just money line. I think it's -0.5, but just first half, Michigan State. I want them jacked up in the building today early. And the only thing that is this Illinois State, shoots the ball well from deep. They're going to shoot a lot of them, but I think Izzo brings the defense. Whenever there are a couple losses or bad loss, it always seems that's the first thing. Which coaching you want to do, right, Mike? You want to get back to the X's and O's. And I think they come to play. Michigan State first half. I'm on it.
I'm going to jump in. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to double dip this. I think Michigan State handles this game. Two things. I think that take three things. I talked about the mental fatigue of the Michigan side of things, right? That's a big in-state rivalry. You got to get fired up to play one of the best teams in the country. And then it just falls short. Well, they map this game. If you look at this, if you look at the total of the spread of this game, and you look at the total of the spread in the Michigan game, is Illinois on the same pace or court as Michigan? You could argue back and forth, but to me, it's the Boswell situation. Your guard gets hurt. That dude, that dude's fucking elite. He's on another level out there. And I liked him in Arizona. I thought it was a strange move for him to roll into the Big Ten. But in any event, I like the fact that you've got the bounce back, the fatigue, the Boswell. And then if you want to talk about bounce backs here, in the Tom Izzo era, off a loss, neutral or home court, 83, 47, and 2 is a 64% spread cover rate for Michigan State squads off that loss if they're at home or on neutral field. So I'll take Michigan State. I'll take them on the money line. First half, full game. Seems like a fair number.
I like it. Big game, I think, here. Carr, Fears, the squad. Scott for Michigan State. First half.
I got to go to the under in Seattle. Seattle and Portland, 8 p.m. as we continue down the card here. 75% of the bets, 74% of the cash. And it's going to the over. It's moved up to 142.5. It's the Portland Pilots and the Seattle Redhawks. But this is just one of those teams that I've been riding the trend here with the unders on the Seattle side of things here. And I just don't see there's any reason to change it right now. In fact, Seattle, when they're favored, and there's a high total out there in the line, 97-40 to the under comes into these Seattle spots. And so I like it. I'm going to ride with it here. I think you look at these numbers overall, Portland on the road on top of that, 3-7 to the under overall. Seattle at home, 5-8. I mean, Seattle, I mentioned it just being an under team, 8-14 to the under on the season. So I think for a couple of advantages and opportunities, we're also getting a shot to, sell high. Seattle just came off of an over. So they had 6-7 straight riffs to the under, and they come out there and it's 164 points against a wiry Pepperdine school out there, 83-81. Who saw that coming? I was riding that under train. I'm going to go right back to it though. It's kind of one of those system plays where it's like, all right, when you can get the Seattle team and you can catch this under, I want to bag it. Even though Portland's been putting up points here. Portland, I think though, can come in here and lay the dud. Why? Because they just had the Zags. And when you got the Zags, that's another one of those mental and physical fatigue factors. They were huge dogs at 22.5 points. They lost by 7. So admirable finish out there to find a way to get the cover, but 142.5, fair number for me. I'm going to take the under in this game.
Yeah. If they don't beat Gonzaga 87-80, like let's say they lose by 20. What's this line?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing, and it's off that upset win because to me it's Portland or nothing. I just think there's not a lot of value here. now. This team's pretty good at home. They lost tight to St. Mary's, I think, Mike, by 6. They beat Pacific. Took care of these teams. Oregon State, I think they won by 6. So, yeah, it's just a big win, upset win. It's kind of a tough spot for them. But I think Portland is live here. Can they have another good shooting night? Can they keep playing well at home? If they get in the high 70s, can the Seattle defense shut them down? That's going over. But, can Portland have a rough shooting night at home? I think that's kind of the key in this game. So that one, I'll be watching. I'll be rooting for. I lean Portland. That's just kind of the spot that's going to keep me off in the number.
I'm looking at this Utah State-Wyoming battle here. I know you're a Cowboy fan. 8 p.m., 9.5, a huge home dog for this Wyoming squad. 146.5 is the total. Pretty even split. It's got 52% of the bets, 54% of the cash on the over here. Utah State, maybe the talk of the town, 19-3. Kind of feels like Utah State's that ring the bell team. Like you get a shot, you get a chance here. Are they the best in the conference? Maybe, maybe not, but they already beat the absolute dog piss out of Wyoming, 94-62, just January 28th. So like a fresh beating, fresh taste in your mouth out there. And Wyoming did have a big win against Colorado State, but I don't know about. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to read into that. They were 1.5 point favorites. It was at home. And they had just come off of getting their bells rung by Utah State. So it's like they wanted to come out there and exercise some demons after losing by 32 points on a 13.5 point spread out there. But then they followed up true to Wyoming nature. They lose 72-63. Utah State coming into town. Do they just kick the shit out of them again, C-Mac?
I don't think so. They're good enough where that can happen. We were talking about this. I was hoping this was going to be 10.5, just to be safe. Because I think after that ass kicking, you talked about January 28th, 94-62, which is classic Wyoming. Beat down on the road, can't shoot the ball. The shots just don't go in, inside, outside, 32% from 3. They're going to be a lot better here. What do you think happens with Utah State? Biggest win. New Mexico hasn't lost in the pit in 23 games. Now you got to go back to back. Another road game to Laramie, Wyoming. Laramie, Wyoming. You ever been to Laramie, Wyoming?
No.
Well, I don't think they're having a party there. I think it's cold as shit, and I don't think they're having a bash at Utah State. I think they're trying to get in and hopefully get out with a win. But I think this game's close. We were talking about this a little bit yesterday. This is kind of the only place to take Wyoming after losing by 30. We see this. They get drilled on the road and a home team. Even if they don't win, this game's a 5-point game or less, right, Mike? At home. Especially a team with like Wyoming. And the spot kind of lines up. I just wanted more, but I think Wyoming is live. Is live today. At least cover. Let's not say win, but I think look out. And who's not going to take Utah State? Who's going to not take Utah State? Publix loves
after
them.
Watching them. After watching them go into the pit?
Yeah. They already love them. They
fucking handled. New Mexico was never in that game the other day. And it's a shit show because I think you were on the first half and I was on the full game. And
the second half they got really drilled. Yeah.
Oh, man.
First half was, ugh.
Blown out of the game. I mean, it was close in the first half, but the separation of church and state existed in that second half. And I think there's going to be some overreaction. You watch what they do to that New Mexico team, and then you got to think about it too. If you're, I think it's a great point. I think you're spot on with that analysis. Get in, get the hell out of there. You've got Wyoming trying to exact a little revenge. 9.5 points. Can Utah? I mean, Utah State should go out there and thump them by 40, but something has that sneaky little hangover feeling after going out and beating up a New Mexico team. So I like it. I'm good. I like that analysis.
I mean, last year they won by 4. The year before that they won by 6 at Wyoming. And is this team too much different from those teams? No, I don't think so. Utah State. So Wyoming, they're live, Mike.
Wyoming or bust here, you guys. Florida, Texas A&M at 8:30 is a spot that I just blindly I'm fading Texas A&M.
Okay.
I saw some Texas. I know 17-5, and you're going to sit there and be like, what are What do you mean? What's going on out there?
They're the biggest
what's going on?
public dog here, real quick, right? Biggest public dog. They're going to be. Texas A&M?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm looking at Texas A&M, and I saw that. I mean, 100-97. That Alabama game was a nice little run for them, and they've been cooking. They've been cooking with gas. But after watching that situation, I mean, that was a good game against Alabama. Man, they gave Alabama everything Alabama could handle, and they were 8.5-point dogs coming into this thing. But I like this Florida Gators team. I mean, look, if you want to play the game, you want to play the schedule game. Here's what I'm looking at. Both teams just played Alabama. Texas A&M loses 100-97. Granted, it was at Alabama. Alabama rolls into the swamp and gets thumped 100-77 by this Florida team. I think Florida's a Final Four national championship type contending team. Am I wrong? Am I crazy? I mean, I know I'm crazy, but what do you think?
Florida's rolling here.
Fucking Gators, man. Chomp.
I know.
Stomp those bitches.
Yeah, playing well. There's just no way. It is public. Everyone's on. It seems fishy a little bit. But no way I'm going to lay it with Florida. Not on the road. Just couldn't do it. It'd be A&M or nothing.
It's a big number. 6.5 points on the road.
I know. It's got to be telling too a little bit. I mean, I get why this is kind of the other way to be on a favorite on the road that a lot of people aren't, because people are going to be all over, Texas A&M today.
Excuse me. We will wrap up the window here for you guys and give you a few more spots for the evening slate. New Mexico State and UTEP. Texas El Paso. The Miners are 1.5-point favorites. A minor favorite for the Miners. Minus 138.5 has moved to 137.5. New Mexico State. I'll tell you what, I'm a secret New Mexico State fan. I've had some good breaks with these guys from college football where everybody faded these guys and they got a huge win against a middle 10 team. And look, they've been doing kind of the same thing. They kind of just, they did that La Tech team. They're that shitty La Tech team, 72-63, but struggling to find wins they are. So same thing for UTEP here. Kind of a coin flippy game. How are you getting paid in this one, C-Mac?
I'm not. How you get paid in this game?
I was looking at the under. I was looking at a lower score. I mean, I don't know if I have any overs on my card today. And sometimes that's probably
I got a couple overs. Yeah. We talked about a couple early at least. Yeah, El Paso's been a struggle to score. I didn't think there was a ton of meat left on the bone here on this total. That was the only thing in this game. So yeah, tough one. New Mexico State playing a little bit better. This team was pretty disappointing early on in the year. So we will see. El Paso, minor for a heart of gold here. Little Neil Young for you. You gonna be a minor?
Wait till you see the Adam Sandberg commercial here, or the Super Bowl. He's got a good one going on. I think he has a little Neil Young impression in him.
Oh, really? Okay.
All right, C-Mac, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you the shot. I'm going to bring you to the table. I'm going to lace the gloves up on you and see if you want to go round for round here. Portland State.
Yes.
Taking on Sac State at 10 p.m. and a 4.5, a generous 4.5. You're getting 4.5 points for the home Sac State squad here. 152.5. Haven't done too much in the movement category. Kind of all over the place. There's 151.5, 152.5, 153.5. This 15-6 Portland State squad. I have an affinity for these boys. Listen, that sounds wrong, but 4-1. They are their last 5. They're cover machines out there, but you got a 4-1 Sac State coming in here. What are you going to do? You're going to accept the challenge? You're going to go head-to-head with me on this Portland State Sac State side?
Yeah, head-to-head here. Heads up. Sure you want to do this, Mike? Portland State's been you say your guys. Yeah, the boys didn't sound right. You boys.
No.
I think keep the boys out of your lingo. Give me Sac State here. We're talking about this as a team. Didn't play a lot of home games. 9-1 at home. Dogs again. What is it? Is their 4th straight home game? Yeah, 3 straight after just you couldn't even, play this team on the road. Like Portland State, I think they're good, but are they this good? I don't know. They've been dominant on the road. So what kind of gives? I think Sac State is in it. What a little bit of their difference is this team just played the offense at home is a lot better. Portland State, though, the defense is better. Sac State, they need to get up and down for this game. So if you like Portland State, you look at the under in this game. If you like Sac State, this game's probably going to go over, I think, at least creep over this number. Because one thing, the shooting numbers, the discrepancy from road to home has just been totally different. You got to throw out all that stuff that we look at. I just all in December in non-conference and look into conference at home, and that's where they're successful. So Sac State plus 4.5. One of us will win. It will be me.
Someone's going to win. I think we got one more play for you guys here. We'll talk a little bit about this game. Is a big one here. Houston and BYU at 10:30 on the docket Eastern time. We should be to the main event. Oliveira probably going to get beaten down in that main event for the UFC, but Houston and BYU will be the main event at 10:30. Line it open at -2.5. It's flip-flop. There's plus 1.5 on the Houston side of things here. The total feels a little lofty at 149, but it's moved up 0.5 point as well. The Houston Cougars, they got to be a Final Four team here, 20-2. BYU comes into this thing. The Cougars, the battle of the Cougars. John Cougar Mellencamp himself would be proud of what's going on here. BYU,
he's dropped that Cougar a long time ago.
He's no longer.
No more Johnny Cougar. You're living in the 80s. Yeah, I know. Same.
I'll tell you what. One of the better concerts I saw was he was at the Auditorium Theater. It was about a 500-600 person theater, and he just came in and rocked the joint, dude. It was fucking great. It was a weird, unique, like boutique venue that just you didn't expect to see him. And when I saw that I had to look twice. I was like, is he really coming to this little theater? Dude, he fucking killed it. It was a great show. But BYU has not been killing shit. They are not covering the spread. They've gone 4 straight overs. Kind of an interesting game against that Oak State spot out there. They were laying 8. They lost outright by 7. Back-to-back road games now before coming back home against this Houston team. And look, Houston's been ripping everybody up, man. They had that UCF squad, 79-55, back-to-back home games. They play defensive ball at home. It seems like they get a little loose on the road. At first glance, I wanted to get involved in the under of this game, but upon further consideration, I may just take this Houston side and say, fuck BYU. They suck. What do you think?
Yeah, this game's tough. I thought this total would go down even more. A little bit. If Houston goes in there and wins, they hold them down. And it probably goes over. Under. And BYU's team total stays under. 74.5. What do you think? Hey, BYU team total. This team they don't play defense. They're at home. This is an easy place to play. But I think they were a little bit overrated, BYU. So do you really love Houston? You think Houston's that good?
I tell you what, my secret weapon is when Houston's at home. I love taking the other team's first half team total under. For whatever reason, that's a tough to play, and it seems like teams have a tough time getting started over there. But
yeah, I'm
gonna take Houston. I think it's a money line play. I think it's a weird money line too. On top of that, so I think they can get on top of this BYU team here. I'm not impressed with what I saw at BYU the other day, especially losing. They were big favorites. They had intersecting zeros. We like intersecting zeros, CMAC.
Really?
But we didn't get
an intersecting zero spot?
They were intersecting. Sometimes they intersect. Sometimes they lose. We don't like losers. But big winners here, C-Mac. Good job. We got the board. We went right down the rip. Did we miss anything? Is there anything you want to talk about here that we didn't get a chance to touch on?
Yeah, I think this is a bounce back spot. I already had a little bit of issues. I just like them at home so much, and it shows. It's New Mexico. Do you want to lay the 6 here with them at home, basically? What do you think, Boise, New Mexico? What about this total?
I think I got to stay off of New Mexico now because they just fucked me in that last
Just
game.
because of that game?
So it's hard for me.
They only won 23 in a row before that.
Yeah,
yes.
That's true.
I think they shoot it better. I definitely think it is. But I still have questions about them. I have questions of them. Even a tab. They're a team that, I want to back at the pit for the most part. And I've been surprised how well they've played on the road. The defensive numbers are good. And what do you make of Boise? They've been so up and down.
I don't know what to make of Boise.
I know.
It's a Grand Canyon team. They get flushed by Grand Canyon in a coin flip situation, but then they go out and they take down Nevada. Not in the cover, but they still put up almost 100 points. And who have they played though? They haven't really played. I mean, they fucking took down Air Force. Whoop-de-doo. I actually cashed on Air Force the other day. 25.5 points.
Really?
Too many for Air Force.
All right.
But, I mean, outside of that, shit. I don't know. I'd want to see. I think it should be a New Mexico bounce back spot. I mean, I guess I can say that they had back-to-back road games, UNLV and San Jose State. They get Utah State coming in red hot, and they get busted. So I guess they just don't cover the spread. They don't play. They gotta prove themselves to me. That's the best way I can describe New Mexico.
I know a lot of people are going to not want them, but I think they're the spot today. I haven't bet it. I've looked at it. That's about it. St. Mary's, San Francisco, nothing. Anything else before we get on out of here?
I don't think so. I think we ripped up the board pretty good. Somebody asked about that Tennessee game. Was it Tennessee and Kentucky? Mm-hmm. Basically, it's a pick 'em for this Kentucky side of things here. Where I've had luck with Tennessee is the unders. Tennessee has been cashing some unders for me. This isn't a game that I immediately kind of flopped off the page at me. I certainly prefer them. I mean, look, they're both under teams. They both can find a way to keep it. Tennessee does play with a little bit more pace when they go on the road out there, but they're both coming off of overs, so it's hard to get involved in the under business on this game. Tennessee just wins. They beat up Alabama. They beat up Georgia. They beat up Auburn. And they're playing, the darlings of the SEC right now. And then Kentucky.
Yeah, but it's their offense is why they've been playing well, Tennessee, lately.
They're going to go out there and put up 80 points on Tennessee? You think they can do that? You think they got an 80?
Kentucky? I don't know. I just had the Kentucky over with Oklahoma. I thought that was 6 points too light, at 151. I don't know. These are always good games. They're tight. I think you look like Kentucky already won, right, by 2.
Yep.
I think we get another close game. I think Tennessee plays well, even though we're kind of revenge on the road spot. There. Revenge on the road. Anything else? Shout out to Nasty Nate. I got it. Pat Smash. I gotta get it.
Pat
Nate.
Smash.
Pat
no,
Smash.
Didn't smash yet. Boston Celtics did not smash. They had a big second half, but they did get some cover action there. Shout out to Vucevic going to the Celtics as well. But appreciate everybody joined us here, man. Twisted, Saturated, Blake M. Scott's in the house. He says, Mikey Trump, do you like under team dodos? Let's go, you guys. Appreciate everybody that joined us here. You're going to see it again. We'll be back next Saturday, dual streaming here between the Hitting the Books and Sports Money Network channels. Talking to you guys about all things college hoops here. We crushed the whole card today. And good luck to everybody with your best bets. You can join us here. We'll be around 5 p.m. That's just 4 short hours away for some UFC. I got the cable guy coming over to fix my internet. He should be here in 10 minutes. It's a busy afternoon.
Cable guy.
Good luck to you, my friend.
Well, Jim Carrey, cable guy? Cable guy? Jim Carrey?
Cable guy. I got the message. He's on his way. It's exciting. Got to fix this internet, man. This is unacceptable. This is third world country style. Even third world countries now with Starlink have better coverage than I have.
Wow. You heard it first.
Bad, man.
He said
times up in here. 5 degrees, shit, internet connection. But show here, C-Mac. Thanks for joining us. Tell them what's up. Tell them where they can find you.
Yeah. next Saturday. Be here. Hopefully, we have as good a Saturday we did as last Saturday. Big time. I think we will.
Yeah.
And even these later games, we'll sit through it, and maybe I'll jump on the UFC. We'll get to some night action, winning college basketball in it. But that's it. Hitting the books. Dual stream. Go like both of these. Like it. Become subscribe. All that good shit. Become members. We just want to keep rolling these shows out. That's it. Connor Mack picks. AOD saturated. He loves Illinois. We know where he lies. There. J Main, everyone up in here. Randall Sheffield, Ricky Bobby, Nicholas Handy, Elmore, 6'7", my dude. That's it. Now let's get paid. Let's have a Saturday. Get to the Super Bowl. Okay.
Let's get paid. Let's